what Nankara had to do was find a way to punch these rolls by hand. And just to give you an idea of how long this took, at the end when you come up and we'll show you a roll, you can see that the rolls are probably about 2 millimeters in size. And to punch one hole, Nankara had a machine. He had to feed the paper into the machine, move a bar to the right note, move the paper to the right place, and that would sound like this. If you wanted to make this sound, that might take 20 holes. If you wanted to make this sound, that might take 100 holes. So to punch one of these rolls could take him 6 months. I think the fact that it was such a slow process actually helped him, because it meant that before he started the process of punching one of these rolls, he had to be very sure that his idea was strong. But there is very few composers or artists that I can think of who have been so dedicated to spend so many years doing a process that is so slow. So for a 4-minute piece of music, it could take him, 4 or 5 months to actually prepare the roll.
There's an interesting story about Nankara. Once he'd gone to Mexico because he was refused a passport by the United States government after fighting in the Spanish Civil War. The only time he returned to the United States for a long time was when he went to New York to purchase the player pianos that he would be using. But one of the things he needed as well is a machine that Dominic was describing. So he couldn't find a proper machine, so he had one custom built. He found an engineer who understood the principles that were involved, and he commissioned this punching machine from this engineer. And I think he paid him something like $100 at the time, and there's an interesting story there, because when the engineer was done with the machine, he said, if I'd known the amount of work that I was going to have to do, I would have never charged you $100. I would have charged you much more. But we agreed on 100, so he got $100. And then Nankara, many years later, or some years later, sent him some additional money to make up for the hard work he'd done. And then he moved on to a second punching machine, which made things easier. Well, a little bit easier.